2016, we bought a boat we aptly called Mood Swings, primarily as a platform to film our online fishing courses and to travel to remote fishing destinations. Our latest journey heading south was plagued by mechanical issues, but not to be deterred, we decided to head north after the repairs and put up with the challenges associated with monsoonal weather. Hi, I'm Ryan Moody, this is my wife Karen, our 2 sea dogs, me mate Maxie, and our fishing weapon, the blue boat. Join us on our northern adventure as we have a few dramas, see some amazing locations and catch some great fish, heading north to Lizard Island and beyond. Well, beautiful overnight anchorage here behind South Cape Bedford, hidden from the northwesterly and the northerly, which pumped up yesterday. Yeah, it's a great little spot, isn't it? It's absolutely beautiful here. But we've got to make some miles this morning, so that's why we're not visiting the BEACH.
It was pretty hot last night though.
We had to get up and turn the Jenny on.
Get him up and get it. I was in a lather of sweat. We have to put plug the fans in before we go to bed if we're not going to put the gents in on.
Yeah.
It's too hot otherwise. We have got little fans which work quite well. Yeah.
So, we're going to head to a nice little spot first up.
Because it's the most beautiful coral we've ever seen.
Yeah, that's right.
We want to be selfish and keep it to ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't hurt. It's like a fishing spot.
Yeah. Do you know that some people have asked us where the dogs go to the toilet?
I know, and we're standing in it.
Well, we would be. We just pick it up every morning. They go on the back deck.
At least they do it outside, outside at home,
Every
and they
morning.
don't shit in the cabin and ruin our beds. So that's the most important thing.
You know, it took me 3 months to train Roxy to go out here. She wouldn't go on the boat. It was horrific. The first trip we had
to bring that fake grass
I
out
had to
here.
put fake plants.
We put a palm tree.
A palm tree. I would take her down every morning.
This is the outdoors.
And you know, when she twigged, because I give her stuff in the kitchen and I say take it outside, and I'd give her stuff in the kitchen and take it outside, she still wouldn't go. And then one day it rained and she twigged. This was outside. Yeah, she was just... And then, of course, now she goes, she didn't need any training at all, but... Yeah, it was like a 3 month... And there's heaps of stuff on YouTube about how to train your dog to go on a boat. It's obviously a real problem because they think it's enclosed, see? They think it's inside and they know they can't go inside.
Yeah, they know. They if the door's shut, they whinge. Not whinge, but they let you know to come out. They want to go out. So.
Yeah.
Well, they do now, but... Remember the first trip we took Roxy on and we went for 2 nights?
And she wouldn't go.
And she wouldn't go, and she was so desperate, and he had to back up at Gould Island, and I swam across with her, because we only had this, we didn't have a tender, and crocodile and shark infested waters, and her 2 little front feet touched that beach, and it was all coming out. And she was so relieved. And I'm like,
More pollution than Bondi in one moment.
because she was crying, and I knew what she wanted. I'm just go wee-wees, wee-wees, and she wouldn't go.
Wouldn't go at all. No.
And anyway, she does now. So that's the long answer to a very simple question.
All right. What do you reckon? Let's throw the ropes and up tools?
Let's go and do some snorkeling.
That's it. Make our way to Lizard.
Yeah.
Made it out to a little area northeast of Cooktown, just inside the outer reef a little bit. Some really nice coral here. Gonna have a bit of a swim, but we ain't got too long. We can feel that northwesterly picking up already with the heat starting to build. We've got to make our way north, and I'm on the seaward side of the reef here at the moment. So anyway, nice quick swim, have a look at the coral, and make our way towards the lizard.
Still Scotty.
Beautiful. We came here once, a year ago, and it was some of the most beautiful coral I have ever seen. So we can't wait to get in and show it to you. We have got some footage of it, but we've got a better camera now. So, yeah, can't wait to get in and take a look.
Well, here we are, we've arrived at South Direction Island, which is just south of Lizard. It's in a green zone. Well, there's actually a bit of a buffer zone around it, so part of it you can actually troll lures for certain types of pelagics and things. We're using it as an anchorage tonight to get away from the northwester. We didn't want to keep continuing because we got up to 20 odd knots this afternoon, so we called in here. It's a beautiful spot, very, very scenic. Some really lovely coral along here. Karen's going to have a snorkel tomorrow. But first thing in the morning, we're going to head out for a fish for a few hours, then we're going to come back, have a swim, and then, because the storms are probably going to start making their way offshore tomorrow. The last few days they've been on the ranges, and they've only been humidity storms, convection storms. So tomorrow they're expecting them to get a little bit more nastier. So we're going to head to probably Blue Lagoon tomorrow, I would say, on Lizard Island. It's very well protected from northerlies, northwesterlies and westerlies, so it's the best place to be in a storm. So we'll head there tomorrow, then we're going to spend a couple of days out of there before the big southeaster comes up, and we're going to be doing a lot of jigging as well, just outside the green zones around Lizard as well. So fantastic little area. It's a brilliant part of the world. I love it. It's where I spent a fair bit of time in my younger days, and I know quite a few good spots around here, so especially outside the green zones. Watching a sunset with thunderstorms in the distance. And we're about to cook up some beautiful gold spot cod. We're going to do the Moroccan cod. We caught that on our trip up the other day. It's actually very beautiful fish. A lot of people think, oh, it's just a cod. But actually, they're stunning to eat. They're very, very nice. So having cod tonight. We had largemouth nennigai last night, and that was beautiful. So we're going to have a bit of a vote later on and see which was the best. So I better get into it.
Well, I've only had one little bite, but it kind of tastes the same. Hard to pick, really. Mind you, I have drowned it in this creamy Caesar dressing and lemon juice, salt and pepper and Moroccan spices because I'm not a big fish eater. So it's probably not surprising I can't taste the difference. But it's delicious. It's beautiful.
Honestly, that gold spot, if they're under that 6 or 7 kilo mark, they are stunning. So good. And if you use rice flour instead of normal flour, it doesn't get as clingy. It's a really thin sort of coating. It's so good. So try rice flour. If you're into flouring fish and you're cooking them, give the rice flour a go. It's really good. So good. Righto, it's time to go for a bit of a fish this morning. We're going pretty early, just for a few hours, just before the northerly comes up. This seems to be the pattern in the last few days. As this trough line's getting closer to the coast, it sucks in the northerlies and the northwesters a little bit quicker. Anyway, we're going to go and have a fish for a few hours, and then we're going to come back. There's some beautiful coral along here. Going to let Karen have a snorkel. And then we're going to head to Lizard, because tonight the storms will definitely be coming off the coast. A couple did last night, but they were still to the south of us. And we were pretty lucky just here. So tonight, a good little anchorage in Blue Lagoon at Lizard Island. And we'll continue on from there. We've got another couple of days before the southeasterly kicks in, and then we'll be around the other side of Lizard in Watson's Bay. Limits our fishing a little bit, but there's still some areas that we can access on the other side of Lizard Island. So let's go and see what we can catch. Well, we've just come into a nice little reef here. Little fringing edge here, looks good. A bit of bait scattering. Out there, a few small trout, a few aquarium fish. Didn't really happen. We're after the moon with northwesterly, so it's never really good. We'll try a few deep pinnacles on the way back, but now it's time for some top water. And I've also noticed the coral here is absolutely sensational. I better not tell Karen because she'll want to run all the way back here again for a swim. But we're going to have a swim near South Direction Island. There's some stunning coral there. The reef is so alive. I've never seen coral like this in the 40 years that I've been swimming on it. Absolutely amazing. Come on. All right, first fish. Had a few follows from some trout, and Maxie had a follow from a big GT before. We've been pulling out at the last minute, so I changed over from a stick bait to our scale blaze, and I think that's what I've got. Nice GT. He screamed off some line on his first run. Come on, loving these new rods. We'll head out to the right a little bit. Heading towards this coral. Gonna go around that bommy. They're not as dirty as trout, but sometimes they can get a bit of line on you and the bommies get in the road. As soon as I put the scale blazer on, everything changed.
Yeah, this wouldn't attack the others, would they?
No.
It's a good fish.
Bloody good fish. Okay, mate, we'll put a bit of speed on. Oh, look at the size of this. What an absolute monster. Definitely up there with one of the biggest I've ever caught. It's been quite some time since I've had one this size. This one's going to be some fun getting into the boat. Man, that's a GT. Oh, that's a big one. Oh, GT. The big Maxi and me are struggling to hold it. It's big. Okay. Straight back in the drink. Hold him up tail first. They're beautiful big fish. But as you get older, the fight gets a bit harder. Okay, another drift this time. Hopefully something smaller. Oh, a big one for Maxie. He can break his back this time. Be nice to get a couple of trout. But had a couple of follows. But they're not really on the job today. Even the deep water fishing was pretty quiet. Can't always have the weather and tides in your favour. Okay, I just had 2 trout 80 to 90 centimetres long coming have a go. One of them pushed the other one out of the road. I hooked him up for about 2 seconds and pulled the hooks. But next cast, a nice little baby footballer. That's the juvenile of the blue spot trout. Very, very beautiful fish. Stunning. See you, little fella. See you when you turn into a blue spot. A proper blue spot. Look at the coral here. Absolutely incredible. The whole reef is just alive. Amazing. There you go, doom and gloomers. The reef's dying. Oh, how'd it go, Maxie?
Yep. You might get him on the way through there.
Oh, righto, it's a little bit better. Getting a lot of smaller stuff. I know, what is it? Little trevally. Oh no. Gee, he's poured hard, didn't he?
A long nose, isn't it? Yeah.
Little long nose. Now that one's a long nose emperor. I'm not going to grab him, they're pretty toey. Miles away from nowhere, I don't like grabbing risky fish. Nothing worse than a hooking you. Okay, finally a trout to the boat. We've lost a few big ones, had some follows. Oh, it's only a little fella.
Illegal.
He's legal. He might be lunch tomorrow. Wow, wish I could have caught those big ones before. They were fantastic. Big blue spots. Right, that one's coming home. Little trout about 45. Perfect eating size, especially for people like me who've had bad ciguatera in the past. So lunchtime tomorrow. Okay, another reasonable fish. Another trout, I'd say. Oh no, it's a paddle tail. Pretty fish in their own right. Very pretty fish. That one there is also known for carrying ciguatera, the old paddle tail. So we'll let him go. Goes. Oh well, it was kind of a little bit eventful, mate. We got the big GT, but we had some follows for some really nice fish too, some big trout and stuff. But unfortunately, it didn't stay connected. Bunches of little trout and little bits and pieces, you know, tropical snappers and that, driving you crazy. But the deep water, we only tried 2 spots for 10 minutes, and there was trout there on the bottom. They just weren't interested. We got, what, you got 3 small ones or something, ones, but yeah. It's just the weather conditions, the northwesterly and the neap tides. So anyway, we're gonna head back. I promised Karen a swim. I said I'd be back by 10. It's after 10, just after, so we better get back there. And then we're gonna get to another anchorage before the big westerly comes up again. And tonight we should have some pretty good storms. Bit of a rain squall there in front of us now. Give the boat a wash on the way back.
So I had a beautiful rainstorm and washed all the salt off the boat. We've decided we're going to have a little circumnavigation of the island and then come back for lunch before going for a snorkel a little bit later this afternoon. It's amazing. And the sun's just come out, so before when it was raining and a bit overcast, you know, the blues don't really shine. And there's Lizard over there.
Yeah, we'll be heading there a bit later.
Oh wow, that was just so nice. It was fabulous to get in the water. Not the nicest beach to walk on because it's a bit corally, so it's a bit hard on the feet.
There's not much of a beach here.
But the water is such a beautiful colour. It's hard just not to be in awe of nature when you come to a place like this. It's amazing. So we've circumnavigated the island
Yeah.
in a little boat. So ever since we arrived yesterday afternoon, we have seen this absolutely beautiful coral ledge. I've been hanging to get in, and that's what we're going to do now. Ryan's not. We're going to do a bit of a drift snorkel.
I'm going to be the support boat to rescue them from the bull sharks.
And we're going to, he's going to drop us off, and we're going to swim back towards the boat so we don't have to swim too hard.
That's right. The rescue signal, if you need me, is this.
Come and get me!
Right? Don't wave at me. Just cross your arms, okay? Okay, we've just arrived into Blue Lagoon. This is the side of the island that's pretty well protected from all the northwesterlies and westerly to a degree. So if you get westerly storms, it's the best place to be because Anchor Bay and Watson's Bay just blow straight in there. Alternatively, you can get around to the next bay as well, but there's not a lot of sand and stuff around there. You're just anchoring off the headland and a deep coral drop-off. Around here, fully protected from the storms. As soon as the southeaster changes though, still not too bad in here because it's got some reef breaks, but we always prefer to go back around at Watson's Bay when the southeasterly happens because it's absolutely beautiful around there. It can get a little bit choppy in here, but still beautiful spot, some lovely fringing reefs, a couple of islands over here, Pelfrey and that, they're fantastic little islands, some good snorkeling around them too. But we're just going to find an anchorage here which is going to protect us from the north and the west. I'm going to drop up here. Well, another awesome day in paradise. It's supposed to be massive storms tonight, that's why we're here at Blue Lagoon, Lizard Island. Although as you can see, it's a bit of a storm cell to the south and it's pretty much broken up. So the big night when it was all supposed to happen hasn't really happened. It happened last night. Anyway, we've had a great day. We've found another reef. It's got some absolutely brilliant coral. I'm going to take the camera there around Christmas Day when the wind drops out. We've done a bit of top water today. The bottom fishing was a little bit slow. We only gave it 10 minutes here and 10 minutes there, but Karen got to have a swim at south direction. Some lovely little areas up here. I've been up here a lot over the years, but Karen hasn't, so we're visiting a few new places that we haven't visited before. Karen hasn't visited before. And Maxie, of course.
And the sun's going down.
Sun's going down.
On the beach
we
for
want to
sunset,
get to the beach for the sunset.
Stop talking.
All right, I'll stop talking. Let's go. Hey guys, if you want to get your hands on some of our scale blazers that you saw in this video, head on over to our shop, ryanmoodyfishing.com/shop, and check them out. Also, we've got our levitator jigs and our pillages as well that you'll see later in the series. After 30 years on charter, I've worked out what really works, so check them out in my shop.